Well, hey there, and welcome to today's video presentation. I am Arthur Morris. I've been photographing birds for 38 years, and I can help you to become a better bird photographer, both in the field and at the computer. Today we're going to be visiting my Roadkill Cafe and learning about photographing vultures in flight. Black vulture here, turkey vulture, landing, photographed right at eye level. And if you're lucky, once in a while you get a good frame of the vultures fighting. I have two great instructional photo tours coming up in early 2022. See if you can get to San Diego to photograph the brown pelicans with me and learn a ton. Here's a pelican in breeding plumage and another in pre-breeding plumage. Beautiful backgrounds of the Pacific Ocean in early morning light. Once in a while it's cloudy. We'll teach you to get the right exposure in low light, photograph all kinds of different behaviors, and teach you to get the right exposure on sunny mornings, which are typical with any system. I learned about stick marsh only an hour and 10 minutes from my house last year. Totally amazing. In the pre-dawn, we'll show you how to make pleasing blurs, and then we'll have spoonbill after spoonbill flying right at us to gather nesting material. Beautiful blue water backgrounds, one of my favorites. And we'll do some Photoshop work as well. Notice the shadow on the spoonbill's right leg has disappeared in Photoshop. Shadow, no shadow. Be sure to visit my educational blog. There'll be a link in the text below. When you're purchasing new gear, be sure to use the Birds as Art code at checkout when you shop at Bedford's. Lots of great perks. Now we're going to head over to Photo Mechanic and take a look at the Roadkill Cafe. Well, there's the roadkill possum and a stinky fish that I grabbed by the boat ramp at Indian Lake Estates. Before I even put out the bait, I set up my tripod along the edge of a canal. You can see here I'm pretty much at eye level. Sometimes I'll go lower, sometimes a little bit higher. Flight photography is all about the light direction and the wind direction. Here the sun is right behind me and the wind is from the northeast. You can see the bird flying in from left to right. And there's a nice landing turkey vulture photographed at eye level, a little bit of edge off the sun, and a black vulture with a fresh road-killed possum. The series of images we'll be looking at are keepers from Wednesday, November 17th, and two other days. So I was about 3 seconds late getting to my lens, getting out of the car and getting to the lens. And this is decent, but boy, the frames before this would have been a lot better as the bird would have been coming towards me. And we have a north by a little northeast wind. Now we have a little more of an east breeze. The bird is landing at us, and I don't mind the position of the head right against the leg. Next frame, even better. The underwing detail isn't as good as in this one, but I like the head position better with the vulture's head set against the body. Not bad, at least the bill tip is protruding away from the body a bit here. And this one is a great pose, nicely lit, but with that bird's head merging with the leg, that's a big problem. Same thing here, beautiful pose, nothing you can do about it, just luck. A little bit better here than here, getting away from the leg. And the best one, right down sun angle, birds low enough to include these other vultures. We can eliminate these two vultures, the ones under the bird, with the patch tool or content aware fill, and I just might leave the three vultures on the corners in the frame. Then the wind died and then it actually switched to the northwest. That shows you what happens when you have the birds landing away from you. The next morning it was cloudy. Notice the ISO has gone from 800 to 2000 with a slower shutter speed, so it's way dark. And two different head positions here. Decent, and I sort of like this one looking down at the roadkill. And then two nice frames with the head set against the far wing and a little bit of marsh in the background. And perhaps even better, this one I'll need to lighten a bit, even though it's the same exposure settings. Depends on how the light hits the bird. This one doesn't win any prizes. Nice outstretched feet. We'll need to lighten the underwing detail. And with the A1, you can do some nice large crops to get in tighter, but not too tight. Then the wind switched more to the north, so instead of photographing from down by the canal, I got up on the south field and caught the south field as a background. And I sort of like these. I may do more of this morning. It's Sunday, November 21st, and it's cloudy, and I'm headed down in a few minutes. Next frame, beautiful outstretched feet, and again, easy to lose the 3 vultures at the bottom of the frame with content aware fill or the patch tool. Then, since I was standing on the dike, had this black vulture, went to vertical with a nice pose with a distant background, the marsh. And then on Saturday, I had no luck at all. I stayed out for 3 hours. Nothing came to the bait. Then I drove away, leaving one piece of the possum, one leg. Got to the other side of the canal, saw a vulture on the ground. Drove over just as a bald eagle landed. I missed that. I had the bald eagle in the frame nicely, standing over the possum leg. Never took a picture, and then took this in frustration as the bird flew away with the prize. So 3 hours spent for pretty much nothing. If at all possible, get out to San Diego to photograph the brown pelicans, or join me in Florida in March for the Stick Marsh IPT. Till then, make some great pictures. Enjoy the football. Cheers. Happy Thanksgiving.